This video is sponsored by Enotria, The Last Song. I'll be happy if I can get him into phase 2, which I absolutely can't in this single life.
Couldn't even finish that sentence.
No.
That looks pretty tough.
What is going on, everyone? Peter Hunt-Spitek with DualShockers.com here, taking a look at Enotria, The Last Song with my friend and video producer at DualShockers.com, Christian Macias. Christian, are you familiar with Enotria, The Last Song?
I'm just glad I'm a friend now. And no, I'm not familiar with Enotria. All I know is that it's a colorful, Souls-like game. Does a couple of things different that you kind of messaged us about, and I mean, you're about to show it off.
I certainly am. So this is the first game from Giamma Games. They're an Italian based dev. This is self-published. This is just the demo, by the way. The full game comes out September 18th. But this studio has done some mobile development, but I think this is their first sort of like larger scale game. I'm playing on PC right now, by the way. This is the Steam demo, which is up for free right now as you are watching this, listening to this, whatever, which you can give a shot if you feel so inclined. Let's load into this first area here and see. So we've got a handful of different things here. I'm going to backtrack just a little bit, just so I can show off some of the more open-ended design of the world. Before we do some of the more linear areas here. Let's see here. Fast travel. So this is a pretty, yeah, this is a pretty by the books Souls-like, with a handful of exceptions. I feel like every single time I play a Souls-like, I feel like I'm doing a little bit of like thesaurus time, where I'm trying to figure out what word is the equivalent word in Dark Souls or Elden Ring or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. Yep. I get you. Every game has their own, their own quirks and whatever they call things. Sure.
Yes. And so this game is kind of, I would actually say like Lies of P is a decent comparison to this, because it has a higher emphasis on like parries as opposed to blocking, and the flow of combat is a lot quicker than something like Elden Ring or Dark Souls. So let's show you a little bit of this combat here. So basically, in combat, there's really two things to be keeping an eye on, and it's an enemy's health, and then also their stagger bar, which is the blue bar that's underneath their health. And so when I parry, if I can get another good one off. So just having some performance issues there. If I can parry, it will raise that bar, and I can lock them into a critical attack like this.
You and these pitchfork dudes don't see eye to eye. You usually have a little bit of trouble with them, don't you?
I do. Peeling back the curtain just a little bit. We did. We tried recording. We had some issues. I forgot I already picked up this item here. But so what's cool about this though is that it just gives you the ability to sort of figure out how you want to take care of enemies. Do you want to chip away at their health until they're dead, or are you trying to sort of parry them out until you're able to do some of these bigger sort of riposte attacks?
Sure.
Which I always
to quote Whiplash.
Please do.
Are you chipping or are you staggering?
I love that, Christian. Let's see here. I'll show you a little bit more of this parry if I can. I'm having again just some performance issues. This game is a little under optimized, I would say. As you can see here, we're having some frame rate dips, which is kind of not ideal in a game like this, as fast-paced and as precise, and also as potentially punishing as this. Let's heal up real quick.
Yeah, you never really want that in a Souls-like.
No, especially when the parry window, it's a little bit more forgiving than something like Sekiro, at least that I've found. But it's still just, it's a little tight, and so that makes things a little bit tricky when you're losing frames and whatnot. Again, this is just a demo though. The game still isn't due until September 18th. So so there's still time for it to be optimized. So I'm hoping that that it's able to get there by then. But let's rest at this site here. And I can show you a little bit of the complexity of the combat, which this is the stuff that I think is the most interesting about this game. Yeah, doing the parries and the attacks and whatever else is pretty sweet. But the thing that really makes this stand out is the different masks that you wear. So basically this game is inspired by some Italian folklore stuff, and at least from what it seems like on the surface, the Commedia dell'arte theater ideology. I'm not super into theater, so I can't really speak as to like what all that is totally about, but it's basically like each of the different performers wears different masks as they perform, and each of those masks kind of has some characteristics to it that make them come alive. And so this game basically gives you different loadouts that you can wear, where you can equip different masks and switch them on the fly as you play, which is pretty cool. Because it means that you have the ability to, as you can see here, the equipment changes out with each different mask. If I had different perks here, they would change out with the different masks. I am going to equip a different, these are called string lines, which are basically like, kind of like weapon arts in Souls games, where basically it's just like abilities that are on cooldowns, although the cooldown is not time-based, it's based on how much damage you output. But as you can sort of see here, you have 6 slots for these perks that you can unlock more of in the Path of the Innovators. So basically this is like a skill tree, but instead of having like individual skills, these are just like passive buffs that you can apply and acquire.
Right.
So let's see here. Perfect parry attack heals you by a portion of your maximum health. Yes, we're going to absolutely buy that. And we're going to go ahead and equip that into our loadout. Now, if you had more perks, you would be able to have like specialized different loadouts. You know what I mean? I don't currently have a ton of perks, just the 4. So by the time I'm getting, 10 or 12 or whatever, I think I would be able to have a little bit more specialized builds. Whereas currently everything is pretty similar. That said, the different masks do have different abilities. So like this one, this piercing wit mask basically increases the damage that you deal by using ranged mask line attacks. So like this one here, summons an ethereal crossbow that I get to use. And so basically this mask increases the damage that I do with that. But this mask right here increases the weapon damage that I use when I'm using heavy attacks. So there... I think that's all we need to take a look at here. There's kind of a lot of systems at play here, but here, take a look. You can switch the masks Peter, on the fly.
I've noticed you had different... Yeah, remind us. There you go. Perfect. I noticed you had different weapons for different masks. Switching here on the fly.
Yeah, and so what's cool about that, too, is like it's kind of a full loadout. It's not just like the perk that you get with wearing the mask. The 2 weapons that I have with this Joker mask, or whatever it was called, Piercing Wit mask, these are the only 2 weapons that I can use unless I sort of swap them out. This is just the default character, because I only have 2 masks so far. But then, yeah, this guy has also, he's got a sword, a smaller sword, and then a longer sword. So it is like a full sort of kit that gets switched out as you play here. Hello, sir.
You see what I mean about these pitchforks, dudes?
Yeah, they're kind of wrecking me a little bit. Please. There we go. That's a parry. Dealing regular damage also kind of builds their stagger bar. Let's take this guy down. And please do not hit me with that torch. Thank you. And as you can sort of see, those mask string skills, they're sort of charging up in the bottom right corner as I deal more damage. This game, so far in the demo, I've experienced 2 different types of areas. More linear, like level-based areas, like the town that we were in the beginning that we're going to end up getting back to. And then these sort of more open-ended areas. So far, I think I prefer these more open-ended areas because you have this jump that you can make use of more verticality and stuff like that. And so it just allows you to get a little bit more tricky in terms of like what you're going to be, how you want to tackle enemies and stuff. But
one thing I noticed,
yeah, what's that?
As you were Commedia dell'arte. I know that's Italian Renaissance. In the background of the menu was like these, vignetted Renaissance painting-esque kind of murals. Does this game take place in like Italian Renaissance?
If it does, it's a fictional version of that. So far, there hasn't been a ton of story other than just like, I think you're called the maskless one, and it's just like at the very beginning of the game, it's just like awake maskless one. You know what I mean? Pretty standard thing here. Let's get this guy. I was having some trouble with this guy before. I got him this time. Let's do this.
No, I can't. Really, you?
Come on now. Something that I think is a little tricky with this game is some of the enemies kind of attack in ways that are a little bit quicker than you might imagine for what they sort of look like. So this guy's kind of a bigger guy. You'd imagine that he attacks a little bit slower, but that his attacks do more damage. But he's like whipping this axe around pretty quickly, and let's see if he closes the distance really fast.
That was a quick swipe at you.
Yeah, there we go. You can sort of see, though, how this game is absolutely more parry focused than blocking focused. I mean, like, you can block, and if you don't do a perfect parry, also, I would just like to say, beat this little mini boss guy. Try number 1. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you don't want to know how many tries it took in the previous recording.
See, and that's why we cut it out.
Look at that.
It's a little platform.
Shift in reality.
Yeah. So you have these abilities that let you sort of shift reality and open up some other things, but we'll keep pressing on, and then I'll show you some of these weapon art skill or these puppet string skills. Let's see if we can't take down that guy's brother. Yeah, I'm having a fair amount of performance issues with this, especially right now. I'm trying this on a lower frame rate than we were using before. But it's still sort of giving me some strafe here. Check this out. That's a little crossbow.
To the dome. And he kept on moving.
Yeah, kind of unfazed by it, huh? Ouch. So a lot of this game is just about building up that parry bar. Not parry bar. Stagger bar. There we go. And you can also sort of see.
I've noticed some of these parries like will do a lot of stagger, and sometimes they don't. I'm trying to parse out if that's depending on maybe like the enemy type that you're fighting. Like just bigger dudes will take longer to stagger, and maybe smaller ones don't.
I think that's the case. Just where like okay, he's got more stamina or more fortitude or whatever you want to call it. Because yeah, that is something that I have noticed as well. We're gonna see if we can't get to one of the tougher enemies toward the end of this town area, where some of the balance of this game I think still needs a little bit of tweaking, because to me when I fight big enemies, and we'll see them in a second. To me, when I fight a big enemy in a game like this and I attack them and I do just a tiny little sliver of their health in exchange for my entire health bar when they hit me once. To me, that tells me like, okay, this is not an enemy I need to worry about right now. I should be not taking this guy head on. But we're gonna get to a section here where it's kind of the one way to go forward. I'm gonna rest here real quick.
Good old Pulcinella in the back there.
There he is, playing his little guitar or whatever. All right, so this is like I said, this is the more like town area where there's what? Let me apply that one string art thing real quick. So this is a lot more lively than what I would expect in most sort of Souls-likes. I think it leans more like I can't speak to it because I'm not super familiar with like the culture that they're going for here. But I think it speaks more to the inspirations for this game. You can see, this sort of like sunset town where like there's this big like it seems like acting celebration or mask celebration or whatever's going on here. Let's see here. Come on now.
Color scheme, vibrant.
Oh yeah, totally. In a way that I'm kind of all about. This is...
Oh, these dudes look tough, eh?
They're not. It's just that I'm getting two at once. Kind of a challenger situation.
What an incredible reference you just made. Two movie references in one video.
Oh, yeah.
Can't believe it.
You get the whiplash as well.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to leave that guy alone because if I get close enough to him, I've gotten through this part in the demo before. If I get close enough to him, he's going to sort of rough my day up. Let's see if I can't... These are some crafting elements. Let's see if I can't show you what I mean about this bigger guy. So this big guy is going to come attack me, and I'm kind of not super sure if I'm supposed to deal with him or just run right past him, because I'm going to let him do his thing. Kind of wrecks me pretty unequivocally. Let's get a parry, and you can sort of see that parry did really nothing to him, to his stagger bar.
Now let's see Paul Allen's damage output.
Now,
oh my God, that is not that much.
Truly not much. So I spent a long time trying to figure out if I was supposed to, how I was supposed to take this guy on, right? And if I was supposed to, and if I was supposed to deal with him or not. I'm going to show you what I did. And what I did is simply run past him. Just for the sake of showing you the final section of this, which is just a boss. I have strong doubts that I'm going to be able to take this boss down. Just given the fact that I'm being watched. And again, just having some performance issues here.
Oh, we'd love to see it.
Yeah, it's really, really impressive, right? So let's do this again. And just for the record, too, so I am playing this on PC. I've got a Ryzen 7 5800X processor and a RTX 3060 Ti graphics card. So I've got a decent rig that should be able to run this pretty without much issue, but I'm still sort of having these performance issues, which makes me think this might be more of an optimization issue than anything else. But let's see if we can't make it past this little section here. There we go. That's one, that's two. And I'll show you this boss here. But in terms of Souls-likes, I think this is kind of interesting and stands out just because it does lean more on that parry mechanic than on just like straight up blocking and dodging. Yeah, we're just going to run right past this guy if we can.
Sure.
Please, no.
Well, there we go.
All right. We're fine. We're super good, in fact. Just rest here, and I'll show you this boss. I'll let it kick my ass. I promise it's going to happen, but yeah, what's up?
Before you show us this boss, you mentioned just now that this game is more parry focused than blocking or dodging, and that's the way for like learning the language of like any Souls. Like you got to figure out like what the rhythm is of the game. Are you finding bosses to be the same? Like, are you having to parry bosses 100%
as well? You'll see, like, just like with the last guy, like I'm gonna deal just a sliver of this guy's health with each attack. And each parry doesn't do a ton to that stagger bar.
No.
Which sort of means you need to play like. It's a problem that I experience it with a handful of games like this, where sometimes I had this with Lies of P a little bit too, where sometimes it requires you to play a little bit more perfectly than you can for like extended periods of time. So like I've got to parry, you know, how many, like a lot of attacks in a row in order to like even do anything to this guy's meter here. And so like, you know, spread this over the course of this entire fight to take him down. It might just not be, it might be asking a little much of me to do that much that long, you know? But I think I'll be happy if I can get him into phase 2, which I absolutely can't in this single life.
Couldn't even finish that sentence.
No.
That looks pretty tough.
It is a little challenging, but I think with time I'd be able to get it. So, yeah, there you go. Game is out September 18th. The demo is available today, so you can take a look at that if you feel so inclined. Demo is free on Steam, by the way. This is coming to PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and then PC on Steam and Epic Games Store. So there you go.
Buonasera.
Buenas noches. I think that's Spanish. Bye.